It was escalating and getting worse, and I couldn't live like that anymore. There was an altercation that I left with my baby, who was a year old, and the clothes on my back.
When somebody put their hands on you, they violated your privacy, your space. Abuse is abuse. It doesn't matter who it's from.
It just started to be a smack here or there. And one day he came downstairs and said, "Today's the day I'm going to kill you."
Everybody reaches that level that they finally say, "That's it, enough, no more."
Don't give up, 'cause you have friends.
1979. A concerned group of staff and volunteers of the Women's Center of Montgomery County meet with other community leaders to plan the opening of Montgomery County's first abuse shelter. They wanted a location and funding to open a safe, secure facility for women and their children fleeing from domestic violence. Laurel House. The dream of a safe haven was finally realized.
I've been there. I'm not judgmental, and everybody I work with I treat the same, and I try to help them as much as possible. Laurel House believes in empowering the women, and that's really, really important and not to forget.
I think it's about planting seeds and helping the children to understand that the domestic violence is not their fault, and that they are special, and that they do have a voice, and someone is here to listen to them.
Today, Laurel House is more than a shelter. It's also 12 transitional housing units for longer-term assistance. It's individual and group counseling services, children's support services, legal advocacy, and representation.
We've represented about 200 women and men over the last 5 years. Most of them have been able to get custody of their kids. Many are getting support now, which gives them the ability to live independently and self-sufficiently so they don't have to go back and live in an abusive relationship again.
They made me budget. I had to turn in my pay stubs. I had to turn in my bills. I had to show proof that I was paying my bills. It was a headache. But now I can look back and say I really appreciate this, because these are the life skills that we need in order to be successful. I think that was the focus of the program, to help me become self-sufficient, able to function on my own.
I was scared because I didn't have any money, didn't have a job. They told me that I made it to the Bridge program. That was the best news of my life.
Laurel House staff and volunteers provide on-site support to women in hospital emergency rooms and in their own homes when police are called. Laurel House is a leader in the prevention of domestic violence. The Laurel House Education and Outreach Departments provide training to schools, colleges, hospitals, and community groups to help them to identify domestic violence and to provide them with resources to help victims. During the past 30 years, thousands of victims and their children have passed through the doors of Laurel House. They leave with a greater sense of security and self-sufficiency, thanks to the help and dedication of staff and volunteers who provide these services. Thanks to you. Through your support, the vision of Laurel House has been realized. You offer hope and support to people who have suffered domestic abuse. You move us forward in our challenge to end the violence. Together, we can make this happen.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light people.
Ladies and gentlemen, your co-chairs for tonight's Laurel House Gala, Board Vice President Etta Sheftel and Board Treasurer Scott Sterling.